From that day,
Uh-huh.
that man
Mm-hmm.
never missed a day
Mm-hmm.
to come see me.
Okay.
And that man is my late husband. After I finished, I stayed 1 year with him.
Okay.
So in my second year,
Okay.
I noticed I am pregnant.
Wow, interesting. Uh-huh.
Yes, I had not thought that we are getting married or anything.
Okay.
Sinile msichana anajiambia, I will get married after I've gotten a job, I have my own house, I have my own life. So here I am pregnant.
Okay.
When he opened the door like this, I heard him say, ati nasikia kizunguzungu kubwa, alisema hivyo sasa kwa Kikuyu. Githiurura kinene, and those are the last words. Okay. So he came staggering. So already now I am kneeling on the bed. So he came staggering. He was very careful so that he doesn't fall on the floor. So he came and fell on me like this.
Hello guys, from wherever you are watching us from. Welcome back to yet another episode of Stories of My Life. Stories of My Life, episode 2, season 1. Remember that this is a function that helps you out there to either motivate you, to either discipline you, to either educate you, and to help you on your day-to-day life. And today we are lucky enough here to have with us Madam Leah.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm very good, Sam.
We're very happy to have you here.
You're always welcome.
Okay. Asante sana. Could you just briefly introduce yourself?
Good evening.
Yeah.
My name is Leah Nyaga, and I am a born-again Christian. I love the Lord Jesus Christ as my personal Savior. He has been good to me. And I am a mother of 3, and I am a widow. Okay. Yes.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you. We are so glad to have you here. Maybe I can start by taking you back.
All right.
How is your childhood like? Where did you grow? Where did you go to school? How many siblings and so on?
Thank you, Sam. My childhood really didn't have so much. It was just silent. Okay. But I went to my primary school. First, I was born and brought up in Karatina. Wow. That is in Mathira constituency. Okay. I think now it is Mathira East constituency. Okay. I went to a school known as Kiamwangi Primary School. And I thank God because during those many years ago, in my class 8, I emerged the top in my school.
Wonderful.
And I was admitted at Narumoru Girls Secondary School. Okay. During those times, it was a provincial school. It was a very good school. And that is where I went for my high school. After that, I did very well. And I went to Moi University in Eldoret. And that is my school life.
So funny enough, to surprise you, we share almost everything.
Good to know.
Maybe we're even related because I happen to come from Karatina too. And I think I went to Moi University.
Okay. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I was growing up, of course, I had a mother, I had a father.
Okay.
My dad was a little of a drunkard.
Okay.
And so there were challenges, of course, because you expect that when you have an alcoholic, there will be challenges here and there. But my mom, she was very aggressive, and she is still very aggressive.
Okay.
And she was able to take charge.
Okay.
And really take care of us. But now when I did my P.C.E.A, my dad sort of came to his senses.
Okay.
And so he was able now to become a little bit responsible.
Okay.
Because I remember, I thank God so much, because when I went to Form 1, of course, Harambe was done. We didn't have the money. We didn't know what to do. But eventually I was able to, with the help of my auntie, she gave me the boxes of her children.
Okay.
So I was able to report to school.
Okay.
And then, but now moving from there, I was even never sent home for school fees, not even a single day. I didn't even have balances. So God is so faithful. Because in the midst of that drunkenness, God was able to change him so that he became responsible now. And I was able to go to school.
Okay.
Yes.
So how many kids were you?
I am born in a family of 5.
Okay.
I am the firstborn.
Wow.
But now we are 4 because one of us, our very last born, went to be with the Lord a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are actually 4. I have grown knowing that we are 4, though I can remember that we had a little brother.
Sure.
Yes.
How were you like? Were you that figure of a parent now that firstborns are usually pegged with the responsibilities of directing the rest?
Yeah, of course. The responsibility is so much when you are the first one. Of course, you have to be the role model. Everybody else is looking up to you. The society and your family, they are telling you that you are, they are looking up to you. So, but also I was so much into reading. I loved reading. I loved school. Yes. And I didn't like manual work. I never liked manual work at all. So we have some tea, we have some coffee back at home, and I would always escape working in the field, and I would always say that I've got some homework to do. So I would be left, and the rest would actually go to the farm. Then I would be left. And of course, I would sweep the house, sweep the house. I would do the little house chores after I have studied. I really did love reading. Okay. Yes.
So you were sort of the child who was into books and...
Yeah. But unfortunately, the rest, as much I was their role model, they didn't make it. To school.
So
academic-wise, they went dropping here and there. To surprise you, I am the only one who has gone to school.
Wow.
Yeah, because they dropped along the way. So like I am the only one.
Okay.
Yes.
And ulikuwa kioo cha jamii.
Yes, exactly.
How were your parents like? Were they very supportive when it came to your education? Did they feel as a lady? You see, in the past, the ladies were not so much into the academic bit. It was a little bit of the home responsibilities.
No, my parents were really supportive.
Okay.
And bearing in mind that we now, after the death of my little brother, we were only left with one. They were left with one son. So the 3 of us are girls. So I don't think they had much choice to either say it's a girl or they didn't have. So they were very supportive. They really supported me. I could remember when we were in college, I would really be given money. I would really be given a lot of money. I would be sent. There was something we used to call TMO, telegraphic money order.
Okay.
That is what we used to get our money. So like every month I would get like twice. I would get a message on the notice board. Wale wako na TMO, and I would be very happy. In fact, you wouldn't know my background looking at the life I lived in campus. I just looked like I'm coming from a very good place. But unfortunately it was not the case, but my parents were quite supportive, I would say. Yes.
And now, from your primary school, how was your social life in high school? What kind of a girl back then were you? Were you the type of very social or outgoing, or you just stuck to the fact that you loved reading and reading was everything for you?
Thank you. Now, in our high school, we were all saved, by the way. All the girls, almost all the girls were born again. So I am not very outspoken. I think I was an introvert by then. Yes, sort of. I was not very sociable, but I was so much into the CU, the Christian Union, and we would go for Sunday school teaching. We were actually Sunday school teachers with the likes of Reverend Lydia. We would go out there every Sunday. We went to the churches around to do the Sunday school teaching. So I didn't experience so much. I did not explore so much my high school life. Yes.
And what is this one memorable thing that you can remember as a child? That did you ever have that bad childhood memory? Maybe you were beaten, a proper beating, or something of the sort.
Yeah, I think one time my mother was very harsh. But I think it's because of the issues that she was going through. One time I remember my brother had not been going to school, but every morning we would go with him to school. We would get to school together. He has his lunchbox, he has his books. We enter into the school compound, but later my mom learned from a teacher that my brother would immediately get out of school, sneak out. He would go to the bushes and stay there. For like 3 weeks, he had not gone to school. So when the teacher found, a neighbor teacher, found him there, so she went and told my mom. Now, tunatoka shule jioni, and you know the way primary school, they have a lot of kids. So we are so many, we are walking together just to look ahead and see my mom, and she's carrying a very huge stick, a long one. A long one, not even a stick. I think it was a pole. I don't know what that was. So that she would hit you probably 2 meters from where she's standing. So she would swing it and then akugonge. Now we didn't know why she came to us. And of course, it was a little embarrassing. So she asked us where our brother was and why we were not saying that he has not been going to school, which we didn't know. So we were told to go back to school and bring his books. So we went back. We brought the books, and the dates could tell that he had not been going to school. So we were beaten. We were beaten up when we went home. We were really beaten, and my mom could even bite you.
Yeah, there's this where our moms used to do
and she would hold you from here. Put you up like this and then drop you down. Yes. So we were beaten.
At this time, anapiga makosa akupigi wewe.
Yeah. So we were beaten. But then my brother was the worst hit. Because I remember he was told to remove all his clothes. He was beaten, and then he ran. At some point, he was able to escape. So when he escaped, my mom
Naked
followed.
now.
Yes, my mom followed him to the river.
Okay.
Now he was going to throw himself into the river.
Okay.
So my mom caught up with him. My mom was very young at that time. I think she got me when she was around 16 years. So she was very young. Yes, so she was very energetic. She ran after him. She caught up with him. Na mamangu akampeleka mpaka kwenye kuko deep. Na anamkomanda ajirushe hapo. Hii na sisi tuko hapo nyuma tumetetemeka tunamplidia. Aachane na yeye. So finally we were able to come back home, but I'm telling you, he slept naked. He didn't eat until my father came late into the night. And now he said that apewe chakula. Yeah, so
mlipigwa kwa makosa ambaye si
mtu mwingine. Yeah, personally I haven't been beaten. I don't think I have been beaten as such. I was just that good girl. I was just soft. I haven't been beaten. And my dad kwanza hange kuchapa. He wouldn't beat anybody. My dad was so cool.
The discipline bit was left.
Was with was for my mother. My mother would just look at you like this, and how many gunyos you will get later. Yes, but we love it. We love her so much. Yes.
Maybe the one childhood memory that excites you, that you feel you look up to and feel surely it was worth it.
One childhood moment that was exciting. I think just the mere fact that I loved to read. And now you can imagine there were no lights. So ni ile kata. So I think that was so interesting because I was able to read and pass using that small kata. Ya mafuta. And naosha hiyo glass naiosha kila jioni ndio nione. I think that was exciting for me.
If you were given the responsibility of wiping that glass, then your parents trusted you so much, because a lot of people failed that test. Ule mtoto mwenye alikuwa anapewa responsibility hiyo glass, surely.
For my mom, he wouldn't. And then if I broke it, then how would I read? I had to be very careful. And it was only me who was concerned about it because the rest didn't love reading. So I think, and the fact that I loved reading now shielded me from every other harm that might have come my way. So nikakaa tu, niko busy home. When I'm not at home, of course I am in church. Yes, when I'm not at home, I am in church. During the holidays, we would form groups. So like there was no one moment that I would go loitering out there. No, we would form groups, discussion from other students, boys from Kagumo High, boys from Nyeri High, girls from Tumutumu Girls. Then we would join up. We would go to our primary school. We would be given our primary school a room, and then we would study there. So I didn't have so many things to do apart from reading and going to church.
It's about reading and reading. Yeah. So do you feel as if you laid a good foundation then that has propelled you up to this far?
Yeah. Actually, I did. I did, because if I did not read, I think I would be very old by now, for one, because I would be working in the farms.
Education keeps you young.
Yeah. And then you see, when you go to school, it delays you from those other responsibilities. So you're able to sort of delay some challenges, as opposed to when probably you get a child when you're very young, or you get married when you're very young.
True.
The challenges and the difficulties, because the challenges are there, whether you marry young or you marry a bit matured, the problems are still there. So I think education serves to delay, so that you also are able to grow and become have a mind of your own. So I think it really helped me. And I was able to come out of that village. My goodness, you can imagine if I was still there.
You still have jiggers.
And the cracks and everything. I would be married next door.
True, sure. I want to take you to Moi University, where I feel maybe you might have broadened your social life or something of the sort. So how was it like in campus?
In campus, I went saved. Fast.
So you were shielded already.
Yes, I was
external attack.
Yes, but not for so long, Sam. Shielded for so long. So in first year, of course, you're very naive, and you actually just experiencing the world out there, which you have never been to. And you see, we were so far away from my home. So I think, of course, at second year, I think I didn't have Jesus. In my first year, Jesus was still alive. But when I went to second year, I didn't have him. And funny enough, I even did not go for CU.
For real?
I didn't, because I had been brought up to that when your concerns is not right, you will not pretend that you're doing the right thing. So I knew I was not doing the right things, and therefore I wouldn't even go close to God. I wouldn't, because my concerns is already telling me I'm not doing things the right way. But fortunately, when we went the first year, when we used to go, I don't know what happens nowadays, but we would go like for 1 week ahead of the continuing students. The freshers would report. It still happens. So when the continuing students came, I had a neighbor who was schooling there. So in fact, my parents had given me and her some money before we reported, paid for our fare, told her to take me to where the school is. I see the school, because during those times it was rare for you to see a parent taking you
to school.
No, you wouldn't be escorted to school. So I had to go prior. Now after 1 week, when the continuing students came, that friend of mine, when they opened school now, she's my neighbor at home. So they're not really a neighbor per se, but a kombali. Those times you would have one university student here, another one is Bali. So you knew each other. That was when university was university. Now when the continuing students came, so she came looking for me. So that because sasa sisi tuko settled with her friends, she came with her friends, she would be able to eat supper at our place. So when she went out to fetch some water, coming back, she came back with some gentlemen. I can't remember how many they were, but they were more than 2 or 3 there, or 4, I don't know. They were her friends. So when they came, so they would talk. They were so talkative, and I was very silent. I was a little girl, very small. You can see my size now, so you can imagine that time. I was very tiny, and I wouldn't talk much. So I would listen, look. Huyu akiongea naangalia, huyu akiongea naangalia, huyu akiongea naangalia. And they went. At the end of the day, they went. Now, 2 weeks later, I met one of them. And I noticed him, and he noticed me. Uko kwa streets too, so tukasalimiana. So I was like, kwani tuliwafukuza, hamjarudi tena, hamjakam tena, what happened? No, kumbe ninajituma. From that day, that man never missed a day to come see me.
Okay.
And that man is my late husband.
Wow. You've made my work easy. I want to ask you how you met your husband.
Yeah. So when I asked him that, hiyo jioni alikuja.
So was it about his stories, his looks, his what particularly made you ask why are you guys not coming back?
Nothing in particular, you know, ni vile tu sikuwa talkative, so ni kujaribu kutafuta mistari.
Story.
Story.
So in this case, you're the one who approached your husband.
I'm the one who asked him. Okay. Kwani tuliwafanyia nini hamjarudi?
Okay.
So in the evening he came with 2 others.
Okay.
And that other one was Mr. Kahiga.
Okay.
And the other one was a good friend of ours, anaitwa Ngojiri.
Okay.
Now, so they came to our room, and now they came almost every day. He came like every day. The rest would
roster every other day.
Yeah, and if he missed, because at times, of course, I would get bored with him and run away from him. At times, I would want to break away from him.
Okay.
So I would even close myself inside.
Okay, yeah.
He would come several times.
Okay.
And the last time he will come, akikuja sasa apate kweli hata ingia.
Okay.
He would slip a note, a love note.
Okay.
Like I have so many of them. I think I still have them.
You stored them to date.
Yeah, I should be having some. He could write.
Okay.
So I would pick the note. I would read, and then I would say, I will see him tomorrow. So when tomorrow comes, then I will open for him.
Okay.
Then tuende hivyo siku nyingine nione. He was very tiny also. He was very small.
Okay.
So, and you know, girls, we always say we want tall, dark.
And handsome.
So like I was wondering, no, this small man and a small girl. Huyu hata nikimpeleka kwetu,
like
wazazi sasa watasema hawa ni watoto wawili, you know. So but every time I tried to go away from him, something would just pull me back. Something would still pull me back. Like there was one picture. I wish I had prepared it.
Okay.
That photo. And alikuwa amepigwa ako na kamwavuli hivi, you know those pictures. Yeah. So that picture would kill me into bits. It would tear me into bits.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would always get myself coming back to him.
Okay.
He was not violent. We wouldn't even argue.
Okay.
We would leave each other today. Okay. Tunaongea, ninamwambia si yeye alikuwa ananiambia, mimi ninamwambia tumeachana.
Okay.
Then the next day anakuja. Then I am thinking ni friendship tu, juu hatukuachana kwa ubaya. 2 days, na feel hapana. And my roommate also loved him so much.
Okay.
So she wouldn't let me do anything bad to him.
Okay.
So she was also very supportive in our relationship. She kept us moving, but I loved him. Okay. I knew I loved him, only that now I was wondering, he's small, he's short, he's
is he a class ahead of you?
Yeah, he was. Okay. When I was in first year, he was in third year.
Okay.
Yes, he was in third year. So I tried several times. I really did. Okay. I tried to break from him, but I think it was impossible. He was so loving. Okay. Yes, he was so loving. He was so soft. He was so good. He was so cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what point did you know this is the one? this is the person I need.
Of course, he finished ahead of me.
Yeah.
He came back for my graduation. Nikampiga chenga hivi. Yeah. Nikahepa, nikamwacha huko main campus.
Okay.
Mimi nikapotea, nikaenda town.
So this is cases in Moi University.
In Moi University main, he has come with his friends whom they had completed Kinakahiga.
Okay.
So they have come for graduation.
Okay.
Then mimi nikasema, because I really want to break up with him.
Okay.
So what I'll do, atanikuta kama nimelewa. So I went and drank.
Allow me to also be drunk.
So I went, made myself drunk. Then I came. Now when he came, my friend, my roommate, and the likes of Lydia couldn't allow him to see me in that condition. So they were trying all sorts. They gave me milk. They gave me milk. They did all sorts of things.
So they're trying to get you sober.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that day was over. They came. They spent like 3 days ahead of the graduation.
Okay.
So on the eve of the graduation, I ran away.
Okay.
I ran away. I left him there, and then I went to town.
Okay.
Kujibamba tu. I went to town. So I came back the following morning. He's still there waiting for me.
Atafutaye hachoki.
Yeah. So we went home for Shai. That graduation ceremony.
Okay.
At home. I didn't even spend there.
Okay.
I had gone with my roommate and her boyfriend. So hatuku spend home.
Okay.
So tukatoka home. Tukadanganyana ati tumepata job.
Okay.
Gil. So we came, and it was so late, and the roads that time were pretty bad. Yeah. So we were not able to get to Gilgil. Tulikuwa tunakuja Gilgil because alikuwa hapa. Yeye anafanya kazi hapa.
Okay.
So we were late. So we spent the night at Nyahururu.
Okay.
So we came to Gilgil the following morning. Now katika
pilka harakati hizo.
Yeah. After I finished, I stayed 1 year with him. So in my second year, I noticed I am pregnant.
Wow, interesting.
Yes, I had not thought that we are getting married or anything.
Okay.
Sinile msichana anajiambia, I will get married after I've gotten a job, I have my own house, I have my own life. So here I am pregnant.
Okay.
So I tell him. He doesn't refuse.
Okay.
But now he doesn't have the money. So he tells me, what we are going to do, sina namna.
Okay.
So what are we going to do? Ananiambia, mi nikamwambia nitaenda, it was during December holidays.
Okay.
So I was to go home, but then I had arranged with a friend of mine, alikuwa anafunza Kiambu.
Okay.
And alikuwa na a small baby.
Okay.
And alikuwa the father to the child alikuwa amewaacha.
Okay.
So I had told her I will go to her place, take care of her child as I sort myself out. Yeah. So this now my boyfriend says that he's not able to take responsibility at the moment.
Yeah.
And then I tell him, if you're not able to take responsibility now, then it is forever. Yes.
You shouldn't be able.
And by the way, we wouldn't argue. We're just talking the way we are talking.
Okay.
So ananiambia then kamwambia mimi sasa ninaenda. Akaniambia then before ukienda home upitie hapa, then I can give you, I will have raised some amount, then I can give you to go at least buy some clothes for the baby. That time I'm around 6 months. So nimeenda home, nimeona sababu sasa huyu jamaa anaweza niruka. So to be safe, let me tell my mother. So nimekaa home for 2 weeks, jasema. So ninajua nikisema then nikae hapo kitaumana. So on the eve ya sasa natoka kesho, nikamwambia mama yangu. Nikamwambia what has happened. So he asked me, ni ya Mwangi. Alikuwa anaitwa Mwangi. His name is Nyaga, but tulikuwa saa hizo tunamuita Mwangi. Though hata watu, majority of the people wanamuita Mwangi. Ni Nyaga Mwangi. So my mom asked me, ni ya Mwangi? Na mimi namwambia na anasema nini? Nikamwambia hajakata. Singesema kuna vile. So sababu ningesema kuna vile angenikataza kutoka home. So and there was no way I was going to stay in that village. So I came back. Coming back, he was working at St. Peter's. So I called him. I told him I'm here. So that akuje akinipeaga pesa na mimi nimepack tu vitu twangu. So I am going to Kiambu. So the guy doesn't come. So he delays. Kunakuwa jioni. So anapiga, ananiambia, nifanyie aje? Niosheage uto tu sufuria.
As if not enough.
So I
what is going through your mind all this?
Nothing, because we never argue, we never shout at each other. There was nothing going on in my mind, but I still knew I was to go. So when eventually he came, he told me, now Lea, it is very late, I cannot let you go now. And actually hata mimi nilikuwa nimeanza kuona kuna vile sasa sitaenda siku hiyo. So he came with tusukuma. Alikuwa anapenda saa hizo, alikuwa anapenda ugali na sukuma na some spinach. I think ni lax ati vile alikuwa amependa ni kukosa. So he brought akaniambia tupike kaugali. So nikapika kaugali, tukakula kaugali. And then in the night sasa, after tumekula, akaniambia ati amenioa. I was like, seriously? People get married like that? Ati amenioa.
Suliambiwa osha tu vyombo na kuja.
I had not seen it coming.
I've automatically told you you are a married woman.
I had not seen it coming. So I'm like, I am not understanding. So he tells me, so that you are, I assure you, next week akilipwa mshahara akaniambia anaenda kwao. Kusema ako na wife. Aya, nikasema wacha nigoje, I see what happens. So actually he went to his home. And he told the parents that ako na mtu. Then saizo sasa miezi zikaenda. Then it came for the time to deliver. When I was in hospital, because I had complications which almost made me lose that baby. But Alvin is a miracle child. So he when I was taken to Naivasha. So I stayed there for almost a month. So while I'm there, now he tells his parents wakutane. So they had arranged. Akawa ameambiwa atafute pesa venye wataenda kwetu kusema ni wao wako na mtoto wa huko. So he got the money, he went to our home, na wale kwao ni Murang'a, so wakatoka wakakutana. So I hear in Kikuyu the man doesn't enter. the home.
Okay.
So you point, that is the home.
Okay.
So he pointed and then he came back. So he left the parents and the wazes to go on with the saying that ni wao wamechukua msichana wangu. So I got married that simple.
So huku unajua, in short,
no,
you just found yourself married.
So you had asked at what one point did I know that this is the man.
Okay.
So there was no one point that I knew that this is the man. Okay. No, we just found ourselves in it.
So one situation led to the other until you got to a point
of no return.
Okay.
Yes.
At this point, did you ever regret? Did you ever feel anything beyond what was happening?
No, with him, I have never had any regrets.
Okay.
I have never. That man has never wronged me.
Okay.
But sure. I wronged him many times. I wronged him many times. But he never wronged me. And even when I told him he has wronged me, where he has not even wronged me, he was very fast to say sorry. He was very
Some
fast
of the
to
tips
say
to
that
keep your
sorry.
families.
Yeah. And he wouldn't argue. He wouldn't protest. He wouldn't shout. Okay. He has never pointed me like this. He has never shouted at me. Even when I was in the midst of women and they are saying, oh, and then I would also say, usijali wanaume wako hivi. Because I had thought like mine is an extraordinary one. But now that he's no more, I think I understand. With time I've come to realize that probably God knew that we would live that short together. Yeah. So he ensured that we were actually very happy. Okay. I was very happy in my marriage. Yeah. I was very happy. Okay. I was very happy.
Now you've done so good in telling me you were happy in marriage. I want to take you now to the family bit. Yeah. The rest of the kids and you stay with your husband.
He was a family man.
Okay.
He loved us.
Okay.
And actually it's sad. It's sad.
It's okay. Yeah.
That he had to go away.
Okay.
He loved. We would do everything together.
Okay.
He was. I was the disciplinarian. Okay. And then he was that one who shields.
The good dad.
After nimetandika, then we would go running to his arms. Okay. Yeah. So I had been brought up in a family where there was chaos. Number one.
True.
I think I did say that. Yeah. Where with an alcoholic, you expect that there was domestic violence.
True.
So when I came to this man, he cannot raise a finger. He cannot raise his voice. So I think
totally opposite of what you
something that I had never seen. And by then I had vowed that I would never marry an alcoholic.
Okay.
That was the first thing that I knew. And even when I was going back to him, every time I want to break up with him, I would go back to him. He had never taken alcohol.
Okay.
He told me he took once, and then akawa na blackout. Okay. And then he never tried again. Okay. So even when I wanted to have 1-2 for the road, he would actually take me, buy from me. Okay. And then when he sees that now I'm starting to get excited, he would tell me now, off we go. Okay. Yeah, that was before we got married. Okay. So I stopped drinking when I knew that I am pregnant. Okay. Okay. Because I thought it would really spoil my child. Yeah. So after that, I stayed for a little while. Okay. What had you asked? About him and the family. Yeah? Yes. So we would go to school for any function in school. We would go the two of us. Okay. At any cost, we would go the two of us. Okay. He was there, literally, physically, emotionally, he was there for all of us.
Okay.
Do you know, I would even forget my ID number.
Okay.
And I am in the bank. I would forget my PIN. Na niko kwa ATM. And I would just call him. From wherever he is, probably is in Kakamega. I'm calling him to ask him what is my
records
PIN, what is my identity.
Your records officer.
Yeah. So he was that present.
Okay.
So he was just good. It was just good. He would come carry a bag this side, carry a bag this side. Atoke tena, hiyo ni kutoka, ametoka job, amekuja.
Okay.
Ameenda sasa kuonana na marafiki zake town. Okay. Anakuja the second time, bado amebeba. So for na ataenda the third time. Entrance kwa hii nyumba you must na atakuja bado the third time. Wow. Ame-carry. Okay. So he loved his children so much. He's a gifter. Yeah. Okay. He would give even to the society. He would to the old grandmothers. Okay. When I was mourning him, okay, I knew I am not the only one who had lost him. Okay. There were shoshos wenye alikuwa na take care of. Okay. And I really, as I was feeling for myself, I also felt for them. Yeah. And I also feel for them even today. Okay. Because I was not able to continue. Okay. That. I wish I was able to move on with that, to step into his shoes, but his shoes were so big. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to get into them. Okay. I am told even in his workplace, even mad people would go near his office. Okay. He would allow them to go to his office. Wale ambao wamekosa mtu wa kuwapenda, wale ambao hawana mwelekeo, ungewapata hata hapo town kwa watu wa mkokoteni. He's just comfortable with them. Okay. So he was a good man. He was a family man. Okay. He would come exam time when my kids were in the examination year. He would really participate. Okay. He was a teacher of mathematics and business. Okay. Though he didn't end up, he changed the profession. Okay. But that year, especially when they get to class 7, okay, he would take over. Okay. I wouldn't even know. Wow, I wouldn't know. Okay. He would take over. They would do revision with them. He would teach them. Okay. We even have a blackboard. We have boxes of chalks. We have dusters here. We have the flip chart. Okay. He would just really be the teacher. Okay. And the father. So for your kids, you're in school always, whether you are at home or you are in school. Yes. Learning is continuing. Haina mwisho. And of course, at times they would sort of, you could see they are getting irritated. They don't want to, especially those ones that are in campus, don't want to go back home and stuff. During Corona time, he would, my son, my son, would be made, okay, because they were learning online, yeah, in their school. He would be made to scan, okay, all the work that he has been doing the whole day, okay, and the dates, okay, and then he would tell me to mark the date, okay, so that when huyu mjamaa ana scan sasa babake ataona. Okay. So he was actually, whether he is far away, he was actually very present, okay, in our lives. Okay. Yes. Wow, this is wonderful. Now, I wanted to get to a point, where we want to encourage some of us who are out here, who really feel they are going through a lot, or they are in situations where they think they are alone, situations where they think it's so deep, to the extent they feel like taking their own lives. So take me through the journey, or your journey, of that moment, maybe when you learned that your husband is ill. What were your roles then, and so on and so forth? No, it was just so sudden. Okay. It dawned like every other day. Okay. It was a day like every other day. Okay. It was on a Saturday. Okay. He came on a Friday, so we spent the entire day together. Okay. We ate together. Okay. We did everything together. Sure. And I would even cook when I am outside, because it was outside basking. Okay. So I would rush back to the kitchen, okay, check the food, then rush back, okay, to him. So the entire day we were together. Okay. But in the evening he went for a shave. Okay. Because the following day was a Sunday. Okay. And we usually went to church together. Yeah. So he wouldn't do the shaving throughout the week, because he would come do it here in Gilgil. Okay. So he went for that shave. Okay. So when he didn't, it was like 6:30. Okay. So when he went out, he didn't stay. He called me, okay, asked me what I was preparing for supper. Okay. Told him I had no idea, I hadn't planned. I asked him what he wanted me to prepare. Mm-hmm. He told me niangalie nione ni nini nitapika. Okay. So like after 15 minutes he calls again. He, mm-hmm, tells me I've bought some beef, labda itakusaidia. So I told him later basi tutapika mchele. Okay. So he comes here, I cook. He's here, he's in the sitting room, he's watching news. Okay. And there was a game. So I have finished cooking. We have eaten. So he tells me kuna game. Okay. So we are watching. I can't really remember what game was that. Okay. So we are watching, the two of us. So I had grown up to like football. Okay. Also, because all of them in my family, they love football. Yes. Yeah, so I was a fan of Chelsea until, mm-hmm, when he went, because now, okay, there's nobody to tell me what is going on.
But I understand, yeah, as he is Manchester City fan. He is
Manchester
City.
Man City.
Yes,
Man City.
Yes.
My second born is Liverpool. Okay. And I am in Chelsea. My husband was in Arsenal. So we would have we would have a lot of fun.
True.
Yeah, so he told me there is a game, so okay, we were watching. So when we were watching, I had a difficulty in because I wouldn't hold myself. I was sleeping. Okay. Because the previous evening, I had received news that my nephew had killed himself. Okay. So the entire night I hadn't slept. Okay. So now that was on Friday. Okay. Now on Saturday evening, I am a bit sleepy. Okay. So when I slept a little bit on the seat, and then I woke up. And then I found that he was not seated where he was. Okay. So I asked my daughter, where is Daddy? And she tells me Daddy has gone outside. Okay. So I notices that he has taken a few 2-3 minutes before he comes back. Okay. So ninatoka nje na muangalia ako wapi. Okay. So when I went outside, I noted that he was uncomfortable. Okay. So I asked him. We came back. I asked him what is it? Okay. Akasema he's feeling pain around the chest. Okay. So we came back. So he asked me what could be the reason for that pain. So nikamwambia probably ni acid. So he told me, I know, because he had suffered that acid thing previously, okay, so he knew the feeling. Maybe, yeah. So he told me it is not. Okay. So I tell him probably ni kiungulia. Kiungulia inaitwa nini? Ni kiungulia. Okay. So he tells me heartburn, yeah? Yes, he tells me no, it is not. It is not. So I tell him basi akunywe maji. So anakunywa maji. And then he tells me atume mtu wa boda his drugs. He had diabetes, and he had pressure. So he tells me atume mtu wa boda, alikuwa anamtuma because he knew the drugs he was taking, he knew the grams he was taking, so akamtuma. Na mimi nikalala. So nikiamka the second time, si ati ninakaa sana, nina dose tu kidogo hivi. So I asked him, mtu wa boda ameleta dawa. Ananiambia, aya, hata hujamsikia na venye tumekaa pale nje na yeye. So nina dose kidogo. Nikiamka tena nikamkuta hayuko kwa kiti. So ninauliza my daughter again, kwani dadi ameenda wapi? He didn't look serious anyway. He didn't. So my daughter told me ameenda huko kwa bedroom. So I followed him there. Kumfollow hivyo nikakutana na yeye anatoka kwa bedroom. So we came back to the sitting room. So I noticed now he is a bit restless. So I tell him, sasa hii unless twende hosi so that we know what it is. Ama basi uite buda tena tulete nini painkillers. But I opted we go to the hospital. So he told me we go to the hospital. So mimi naenda kuvaa ndio nitoke. So my daughter comes calling me. She tells me daddy is even hooting the car. So ninatoka mbio, ninaenda, ninakuta amekaa kwa passenger seat na ame-drop. And then so I got into the driver's seat na tukaenda hospital. So when we got out of the gate and up to the main road there, the pain was not there. It had eased. So we go talking. He was very talkative, by the way. We go talking until we get to the hospital. When we get to the hospital, he says, he used to say where he's suffering from. He says, I suffer from this and this. So he's told he cannot be treated. The pain is not there. So he's told he cannot be treated until angaliwe nini pressure na the sugars. And so the sugars were a bit high. They were at 22. So he is told he is injected, and then we are told to wait there. We wait until now the sugars drop, and the blood pressure also comes down. And by the way, he told me, I am feeling good. I wish I would be staying like this. Yeah, and I'm telling him, but we always manage. We manage your condition with the diet. So we are still going to manage. So we were released to come back home. So when we came back home, we are coming and we are still talking. We are still talking. I remember he asked me about some cows we found on the road, and he was asking me, sasa hizi hawa ng'ombe ni wa nani? Tunakuja ananiambia, hey, si watu wanapenda happy. Mpaka saa hii watu hawajalala. So we are talking normally. And he has no pains. He's okay. He's even saying he's feeling nice. So we come. So I leave him in the car because he had said he wanted a cup of tea. So I leave him outside to close the doors. So I go to the kitchen, I prepare some tea. So when I'm preparing the tea, I feel like I am hungry because it was very cold outside. So I tell him I will not even make a lot of tea. I feel like I will eat again. So I realized that the person I'm talking to is not responding. So I peep from the kitchen, and I don't see him in the sitting room. So I ran to the bedroom. When I ran to the bedroom, I found that he was sweating. And I asked him what is wrong. He had opened his shirt. He told me that the pain has come back. So I asked him, why is it coming back? This is a devil. Why is it coming back now? When we are away from the hospital. So he told me I bring him the medication he had been given. So I bring the medication and a glass of water. So he takes the water and he tells me I bring some more water. But I hold the medication. I tell him, let us first Google. We see what this drug is for, so that you don't overdose. So I found out that it was an antibiotic. So it didn't have anything to do with the sugars. It didn't have anything to do with the blood pressure. So ninaona he can take it. So ninampatia, anakunywa. And then akaniambia the pain is so much. So he told me to get him and he was sweating. So nikamuuliza kama nimtoe trouser. Akasema hapana. Nimtafutie a light t-shirt. So I did very fast. The events happened so fast. So I got a t-shirt, anajivalisha. Then I told him I get him some pillows. I thought ni hiyo hat bana. Pillows nimweke huku nyuma. Then he told me, Leah, I am sick. Pray for me. And I couldn't pray that moment immediately because he was still in pain. But like 2-3 minutes akaniambia ni kama ime reduce. So I tell him, let us pray now. So I pray very fast. I don't even know what I prayed, but I prayed. Then immediately I finished praying. He tells me ati anasikia tumbo inaenda round. Na unaona hakuwa na issue ya tumbo. It was about the chest. So atanasikia tumbo inafanya nini? Ati hata mimi nakubaliana na wewe sasa ni kama ni acid hii. So I asked him, do I give you some Eno? Ananiambia, nikamletea Eno. Akaichukua akaiwekelea hapo. Kaniambia nitakunywa baadaye. So he told me venye anahisi tumbo hivyo aende kwa toilet aone kama atakuwa sawa. So I asked him. Saa hizo ashaniambia mimi nikuje kwa bed. Nilikuwa nimesimama hapo mbele. Ameniambia awe kuja huku uache So I am huku kwa bed. Ameenda to the washroom. Nikamuuliza kama nimpeleke, akasema niko sawa. So he went to the washroom. And now when he had a short call. He was opening the door. When he opened the door like this, I heard him say, ati nasikia kizunguzungu kubwa. Alisema hivyo sasa kwa Kikuyu. Githiurura kinene. And those are the last words. So he came staggering. So already now I am kneeling on the bed. So he came staggering. He was very careful so that he doesn't fall on the floor. So he came and fell on me like this. So I held him on my chest. And then he vomited, and then he dropped on the bed. So at that point, I thought now I think I was screaming, or I think I was screaming because my daughter came. And then I remembered that the gas is still on. So I told my daughter to go switch off. So she came back. So by the time she's coming back, I am already telling myself, because when I held his legs, they were getting cold. So like, what is this?
So it is at this moment that you start seeing how serious the situation is.
But still I am not. So I tell I am screaming, but my voice can't go anywhere. But I am thinking I am screaming. So I am trying to scroll. I don't know who to call. I couldn't know anybody. Like I was so confused. I didn't know. Sikuwa naona majina ya watu call, but I'm scrolling. So napea mtoto wangu namwambia, mama scroll. Ita ananiuliza niite nani mama. So I remembered my neighbor, so we called her, but she didn't pick the phone.
Okay.
So in the rush, I pressed the alarm.
Okay.
So I left the alarm ringing.
Okay.
And then I told my daughter anisaidie tumbebe tumpeleke hospitali.
Okay.
I'm still thinking that the doctors can resuscitate her. So we did a lot of work to carry him all the way from the bedroom.
Okay.
And now you can imagine you have no strength. I didn't even have clothes.
So what time is this?
It was around 2:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like barely 30 minutes after we arrived.
Okay.
It was not more than 30 minutes.
Okay.
So we managed to take him.
Okay.
My daughter wouldn't get into the car. She refused.
Okay.
So I told her, waambie watu wakikuja waambie, because the alarm is still ringing.
Yeah.
Waambie wanifuate.
Okay.
So I went. I drove very fast.
Okay.
I drove fast. So I went to the hospital, and there was some boda there. There was an accident, so there are many boda. So I did them like that. They came running. They took him, wakampeleka ndani.
Okay.
And then nikiangalia venye amewekwa hapo, daktari akamwangalia. And then I told her, tulikuwa hapa just a while ago. So she went to her computer very fast, checked, and then akaona. So she came back, akajaribu kumfungua macho, and she's not talking to me. So I'm asking her what is happening, what's wrong.
Okay.
It hasn't dawned on me that he's dead.
Okay.
So the doctor didn't talk, and she moved from him and went on to manage the accident patient. So I am all over asking what is this. But now when I look at the way wamemwekelea hapo kwa that kabed, naona mikono imeangukana, miguu imeangukana, hawamweki pamoja.
They really want to.
So I am there, and then it dawned on me that things are not good. Son, I'm telling you, it was not easy.
True.
It wasn't easy at all. Nobody's talking to me.
Okay.
Nobody's telling me what is going on. I could go in, go out. I could crawl all the way inje. Na crawl back because my knees wouldn't hold me.
Yeah, true.
But I was asking God, mudu akinya, niko naongea kwa Kikuyu, mudu akinya taha gai mudu ekagate, mudu athiaga ku, mudu oragia u. You know, where do I go? What do I do? What do I say?
True.
And I noticed later that the sauti wouldn't even come out.
Yeah.
And I was so dry in my mouth. I was panting. I was so dry. So now later, I managed now to, because nobody else is talking to me. What do you do? So I managed to call. I remembered that the neighbors, I haven't told them where I went.
Yeah.
So I called and told them niko kwa hospitali. So they came running. The elders came. I called his brother and told him, nikaita watu wa job kwao. Everybody was just shocked. It was shocking.
Really?
It was very shocking because I couldn't even explain what had led to his death.
Okay, true.
Yeah. So he went like that.
This is a little bit. I can only imagine how you could feel at that moment, what was going through your mind, and the fact that there were no people that followed you. Everything is just jumbled out, and this is happening.
Yeah.
So, what happens now that? How did you get the information?
The information about his death?
Yes.
now the confirmation.
Yes, the
because
confirmation.
I already
You could
knew,
sense.
yeah,
You could sense, but
so when the neighbors came now, and
okay.
the elders came,
Okay.
so of course now I broke down because
Okay,
I have
yeah.
seen
Yes.
people. There before I was at least holding myself, and I would crawl. I would crawl come inside, go outside. But now when I saw them, I couldn't even hold myself. So I told them my husband is dead. So they rushed inside, and then the doctor now told them. Yeah, he told them. Sasa tukaambiwa twende polisi because alikuja kama amekufa. Tukaenda polisi tukaandikisha statement, then tukampeleka sasa to the morgue. Nakuru. Yes.
Wow. Must be very painful at that moment.
It's terrible.
Okay, and now your kids, your immediate family, how do they respond to it?
My daughter, I told you I left my daughter here.
Yes.
So I came back at around 6:20 in the morning. That is when we came back. So she was still seated. She hadn't slept. And she had tried to call her cousins. And she had already told them that Daddy fell. And he was taken to the hospital, and they haven't come. So when I came, now the neighbors talked to one of the neighbors who had not gone with us to come here and stay with her. So she when I came now, the first question, she looked at me. She looked me straight in the eyes and asked me, "Mom, tell me where is Daddy?" You know, I couldn't hide. I couldn't hide from her. So I went to where she was. I bent. In fact, I think I knelt down. And I held her hands. And I told her that Daddy is no more. That girl cried. Paka akalala. Alilia, akalia. She slept. So it was so hurting to see her. You see, she had experienced the entire thing. We had carried him with her. So it was so traumatizing for her, and it was for me having to tell her. But I didn't want her to hear from anybody else, from somebody else. So I decided I'm the one who is going to tell her that. So after now, when she started crying, of course, mama wakambeba wakamwondoa hapa sasa. So I was left now to know what next. At that time now, my brother-in-law from Murang'a is on his way. Immediately I called him. He just got into his car and he was on his way. He arrived, I think, at 8. So before then now, at that year 2006, I called my son. I called my nephew. Because they're in the same institution with my son. And wanakaa tu, they are neighbors where they reside. So I told him, do this, uncle is sick. And sababu leo ni Sunday, na kesho ni, just God gave me the wisdom. Today is Sunday, and tomorrow you have classes. So you would rather come and see him today. Bring Alvin, mumuone, so that hata mkikaa sana mchelewe, at least mtaenda back mkiwa wawili. So ninamwambia hata msioge, because I was imagining the news will start spreading. Before social media will just So I was imagining my son knowing about it akiwa huko. But before sasa nitumane aende achukuliwe, angekuwa amejua. So I decided let him come. So when I told them not to shower, to come very venye tu wako, and I sent them money to come. So when they wakikuja tu wakikaribia nikawaambia wakiwa Naivasha, I told them hata sababu wako hospitali Nakuru, msishuke Gilgil. You just come to Nakuru. Hata niko huko Nakuru. So now we were so many of us, tulikuwa tusharudi sasa huko kwa morgue, because the colleagues had already now assembled and they wanted to view the body, because they were not believing. They had even thought in the accident, and they had been refused to see the body. So and now my brother-in-law has come, so I have to take him. And the other brother also was coming from Nyahururu, aende hivyo tukutane. So now the friends now took over. They now nikawapea namba ya mtoto wangu. So akamwambia, si mwili ulikuwa umash. So akaambiwa ashuke hapo Greenstead. Haya, tena akapigiwa akaambiwa asijui ashuke wapi hapo kwingine. So wakamwendea hapo. So akaendewa na gari hapo. So Sam, you can just imagine my son. Anakuja kuona babake ni mgonjwa. Anakuja anaona ameingizwa na pale imeandikwa
funeral home, and there is no hospital in there.
It was so heartbreaking.
True.
It was so heartbreaking. That boy broke down. He cried. I don't even know. And now you know, everybody else was crying.
Yes, true.
Kulikuwa na watu wengi sana, and everybody was crying. But a few friends sasa wakamshikilia. And then sasa tukamuingiza ndani by force. Aliingizwa by force. So we went and he saw the father. He has never talked about it. He has never talked about it. Even my daughter has never talked about it. But I am giving them time to just digest. So that when they are ready, because I imagine if I am an adult, and I'm feeling the way I am feeling, what about them? What about them? My daughter was to join Form 1. They had bought the box. They were Googling to see the uniform of Nakuru girls. They were just upbeat about the whole thing. And now the dad is no more. So now we took him in, he viewed, and then now we were able to come back. So and of course we were supported by majority, and God. Sababu hapa sasa ni Mungu tu. Ni Mungu tu anakuja. Nobody can you get into a world of your own. You are not in the world with the rest. People are eating, you are wondering, must you eat? People are talking, you're wondering, must we talk? So we went on with the help of God, and the Spirit of God has been talking to me. Yeah, and that is how far we have come.
Wow, you even getting the courage to talk us through the entire issue, very encouraging. I'm very sure there is someone out there who is asking themselves, now you are at that situation, you're on your own, you come back home, the burial has happened, you seated, the man you spent your entire life with is no more. Your kids, you can tell they miss their dad. How did you get through all that now?
Now, when before they went to school, I had to tell myself that I need to be brave.
Okay.
And wear a very brave face.
Okay.
So we stayed with them after the burial for 1 week
before
they joined school.
Okay.
So for that 1 week,
I
stayed put.
Okay.
And I would really pretend.
Okay.
But on the inside, I was just a shell of myself. So now when they went to school, I now released myself. And I said, sasa niku mono. Yeah, so I wouldn't eat.
Okay.
But I would do everything. I would just do everything. I would come to church. And majority of the time, I would be seated throughout.
Okay.
But again, I would go to job.
Okay.
I would move on. I would just keep moving on, because sasa nisipofanya, nisipoenda, then who is going to do this? You see, there's nobody to do the things. Okay. There's nobody who can fill that gap. Okay. Everybody else has gone to their places.
They feel they have done their bit, so
they have gone back to their places. Hakuna mtu wa kukuhurumia.
True.
Walishakuja wakakusaidia kuzika. Sasa unaambiwa you move on. Okay. Yeah. Wow. And actually everybody expects you to move on. Yeah, true. But you're not moving on because your life has stopped. Okay. Your life has stopped. So there is no moving on. There's no moving on. So you are stuck there. But everybody expects that you are moving on. Yeah, so I had to play along. Okay. And then I didn't also want to become a burden. Okay. Because you see, my family is far away. Okay. So I didn't want to become a sort of a burden. Okay. I had to take up the mantle and tell God, now it is me who is here. Okay. And before I even decided it is me who is here now, because I was not eating. I was not eating. Okay. So I became very ill one Sunday. Okay. When I was, I came out of church and I drove back home. And I think I gave that testimony in church. I almost hit the gate because I became very ill. Okay. But when I was taken to the hospital, I was told my immunity iko chini. Okay. Because of not eating. Yeah, so when I was being taken to the hospital, I was halfway awake, halfway unconscious. Okay. So I imagined my children without their father and now me. Yeah. Because there were two things. Niende nirudi, ama niende nisirudi. True. Because now I know that unaweza toka ukose kurudi. True. Yes, unaweza toka tu hivi ukose kurudi kabisa. So I knew it. So naweza enda nikose kurudi. So I thought, nikamwambia Mungu, if you make me come back to my house today, I will start eating. Okay. So when I came back, I started eating. So I gained some energy. Na nikaona ninaweza kufa. So that challenged me and gave me a lot of strength. Okay. And I decided no. My husband, wherever he is, may his soul rest in peace, wouldn't want me to follow him. Okay. He would want nikae na watoto niwashughulikie jinsi alivyonionyesha kuwashughulikia. He showed me everything. He was so open. So I had to come in now and also unajua una imagine when you lose somebody that close, you imagine ako mahali. Yeah. Ako mahali tu anakuangalia. So I could imagine ninalia, nina imagine sasa si anahuzunika sana. Haizi taka aone nikilia sababu sasa anajua watoto wake aliyopenda hawatakula ama wakunywe because I will be dead also. So that gave me strength to move on. Yeah. And also praying.
Okay.
I would really seek God.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the midst of the tears,
Okay.
I would seek God.
Okay.
And by the way, I never sort of asked God. I became bitter with God.
Okay.
At no one point.
Okay.
Because I would go to ask, like, God, how can I be serving you like this? And then this is what you do to me.
Yeah.
How can we come from prayers and then this is the result?
Yeah.
How can he tell me to pray for him and then this is the result?
Okay.
And at one point, I remember in church, people were giving testimonies about what God has done for them.
Yeah.
Sasa mimi ninajiuliza, mimi sasa result ya wale ni mambo mazuri wametendewa. Sasa result za maombi yangu mimi ninaona ni vitu mbaya zimefanyika.
True.
You know, sort of I was not relating the two. And at a point I almost feared fasting.
Yeah.
I really feared for some time.
True.
Sasa tukiambiwa tutafast, mimi naogopa. Nasema na tukifast results zikuwe hizo, you know. Tukifast ni kama divo mambo mabaya yanafanya nini? Ndio hata ninajiuliza, na wale wabaya hawafanyi, wale wenye wanafanya mambo hawafanyikiwi, unaona? So hata mimi wacha mimi nikae hivi, mimi sitaomba, wacha mimi nikae hivi, nitaomba hii ingine, lakini hiyo ya kufast yenye after it my husband went, I'm not for it.
Okay.
So it has given me a lot of courage.
Okay.
Igawa I think I am now probably quite away the journey.
Okay.
It's a long journey, I know.
Okay.
It's something bad. It feels bad that you don't belong to anybody.
Yeah.
No. I only belong to God now.
Okay.
And God, of course, is not physical.
Yeah, physical, yeah.
I belong to God and I belong to my children.
Okay.
Because I cannot say that I belong to my father.
Yeah.
Because nilitoka kwake. I cannot say I belong to my husband's family.
Yeah.
You know, there's that loss of identity.
True.
You don't know where you belong.
Okay.
You don't know, you know, those things like used to excite one.
Okay.
Like, you know, every 3 months we will be going home.
Yeah.
Every 3 months we will be going home.
Sure.
So you have like no home to go to.
Okay.
Because again, I don't think that the relatives will still feel the same way. Yeah. So like it is bad. Some
I can imagine.
not to have an identity. Okay. Now I was a Mrs. somebody.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. Now my status is tofauti. Mimi si mke wa mtu sasa.
Okay.
You know, that loss of identity is something to battle with. Something to battle with.
Okay.
It's another journey altogether to accept that now I am alone.
Okay.
It is a journey also to come to terms with the fact that I will raise my children on my own. By the way, it has been very difficult for me to now connect the two roles.
Okay.
Ya kuwa disciplinarian na hii ingine yake.
Sure.
Yeah, because now I fear if I remain what I was, I might lose my kids.
True.
If I go to his side, I may also lose them.
Yeah, true.
So, you know, I'm lost. Your balance. I'm juggling. Niko hapo katikati. Nataka kuwapenda. Nataka wawe wazuri. So like there are times I will beat my son, like a little boy. I will really do something on him. I'll beat him.
Okay.
And then he won't believe I have beaten him.
Okay.
Then he will go hide himself in his bedroom, and then I would also go hide myself in my bedroom. He is crying on one side and I'm crying on the other side, because I don't want him to see that I am crying. Naona tena ni kama nimemkosea, because ni yeye, tuko na yeye, ni yeye huwa ananihold, ananihug, he tells me, Mama, you are smart. He gives me a peck here, he gives me a peck here, many of them. He tells me, bye, Mom. He tells me nice things. When if he realizes that I'm a bit sad, he'll tell me, Mama, don't be sad. Kama nimeinama hivi atakuja ajaribu kuniinua. Sasa nikimchapa nimemkosea, but again I want to raise a man. I want to raise a man. I don't want to raise a woman. I want to raise him as a man. So juggling between the two roles is not easy. It's not easy. And I would also want to encourage those people wenye huwa wana point watoto wa single mothers, watoto wa widows, that because they do not have their father, ati huyu amekaa hivi sababu ni wa single mother, huyu amekuwa hivi sababu ni wa single mother. I think it is not right. We now putting the shoes that I'm putting, I know it is not easy. It is not easy. So let us avoid by all means blaming everything on that single mother. She could have probably played a role, but not that we should completely like blame and condemn. I think we should in fact help them. If we who have our husbands and we have our father figures in our homes, if we really see that there is a gap somewhere, I think the best we can do, instead of pointing fingers, instead of blaming, instead of condemning, I think what we need to do is come in and fill that gap. Come in and support that person. That single mother needs a lot of a support system. Whatever the reason for her being single, I think they just need a lot of support, which we don't get. We don't get. It doesn't come easily. It is very rare. It is very rare. Of course, you will lose your friends. Probably some feel that when you come close to them, you will come close to their husbands. And you might snatch them away. There are all those myths and misconceptions, which I don't think they are relevant or they are real. It is something that is neither here nor there. So I would really want to encourage my fellow widows.
I want you to look at that camera and encourage one that is going through your situation at that time. Just give her hope, some motivation.
Now, my dear widows, I would really want to encourage you in the Lord. Yes, I know it is not easy. It is not a walk in the park, but we are going to make it because our God. In Psalms 32 and verse 8, it says, God says that He is the one who will instruct us. He is the one who will guide us in the way. His eye will guide us. He will instruct us in what to do. He will instruct us in how to raise our children. He will instruct us on how to invest. He will instruct us on how to do things in His ministry and whatever else that He has given us to do for Him. He is there for us, and becoming a widow is not the end of the road. There is still life ahead. There are many good things that God is looking up to us to achieve. He's looking up for us to do so that our children are able to achieve probably even greater heights than what our husbands were able to achieve. So I want to encourage everybody there, even those who are feeling low, they are feeling like the world has come to an end. Please do not give up. Inua macho yako juu, uone Mungu na uone uwezo wake na uone vile ambavyo anaweza. Yeye anaweza kabisa kabisa, na nimemuona akinilinda, amenibeba. And all I can say is that wakati watu wanakuacha, that is the beginning of God coming to your life. So usifurahi wakati watu wako hapo wanacheka na wewe, wanalia na wewe. The earlier they go from you, the earlier they get away from you, the better, because God will actually come in very fast. I have seen him come very fast in my life, and all I can say is that God is a faithful God. Yes.
Okay. Surely, indeed, very motivating and educating. I'm very sure there is someone out there who has been touched, and it's gonna help them so much in this journey. Najua huwa ni ngumu sana, especially hiyo kutengwa, hiyo to have to step up, to have to take responsibility now as a man, driving the vision of the family now alone. Huwa sana si jambo rahisi sana. It really requires a lot.
Yeah, dreams have been shattered.
Yeah, true.
You don't know whether they will ever become.
Yeah.
You just trust in God.
Okay.
You don't know what is going to become of you.
Okay.
You don't know whether you will ever be able to forget him.
Okay.
You don't know. It's just
a lot.
It's just
Okay.
not so good. It's not so good.
I'm very sure we have encouraged someone.
Mm.
I want to wrap up this,
Yes.
but before I wrap it up, there's usually a small segment where we try and juggle. So we throw some little bit of questions to you, so that we even cheer up the entire thing before we call it a day.
Yes.
You are a teacher by profession.
Yes, I am.
So for how long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching, I think, for the last 19 years.
19 years.
Yes.
That is quite. Ungekuwa age, ungekuwa umepatiwa ID.
19 years. Yeah.
Okay.
So ungekuwa kwa darasa langu.
Ningekuwa nishamaliza.
Nimekufunza ni vile tu kuwa kwa shule.
It is true. Indeed, it's true. Maybe do you have a nickname?
Not one that I know.
So ni wale ambao hamjui nickname zenyu, but maybe there could be one.
There could be, of course, you expect that from children.
Okay.
But I have never
had. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, even in the discussions in the staff room,
no, I know the others.
Teachers, I'm sure you sit down and share where unaitwa hivi, unaitwa hivi.
Even the form ones will come and just call you that, because they have been told, they think that is your name. They come and say, I want to see, and then they say the nickname.
Okay.
But I've never. Okay, once kitambo. When I was teaching private school, Wellspring.
Okay.
And we were reading a literature set book. Which one was this? What was it? Ilikuwa na character aliitwa Portia. I remember. I don't know why I'm forgetting the title of that book. So Portia, but it's a very positive character. So the girls, there were girls. I was teaching girls, and they would call me Portia.
There you have it.
But the character was a beautiful character.
So you
was
felt
smart,
encouraged.
was in fact she did something that was quite amazing in that story.
Okay.
And made another character who was supposed to be cut off some flesh, a pound of his flesh, to pay for the loan that he had taken to live. What was the title?
Is it Caucasian?
Caucasian.
Yes.
Caucasian. So in the other schools that I've gone, I haven't had it.
Just to juggle your mind, I am giving you 50 million today. What do you do with it? 50
million is not so much. and it is not, and it is not so
so
little.
little, yeah.
Yeah. For one, I wouldn't be shocked.
Okay.
I would just be as calm as I am
Okay.
right now.
Uh-huh.
I told you from the beginning I would really get into real estate.
Okay.
So you can just imagine how many I can
flats.
do. I wouldn't even take a soda.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
You invest
I wouldn't. I would go into
to the
real
last
estate.
coin.
Yes, and I would also go into the bond.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
government
I would
bond.
also do especially the infrastructure.
Okay. Well,
bond.
that is nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it is not so much
Okay.
to say I will do this, I'll do that, I'll do no. I think I would just do those two things. I would invest in the infrastructure board, and I would go into real estate.
Okay. Coffee, tea.
Pardon?
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Tea.
Yes.
Majani chai. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a morning person, evening person?
I am a morning person.
Okay.
Evening is not my thing.
Okay.
In fact, at 9.
Okay.
At 9, I'm always in bed.
Wow.
I cannot even watch news.
Okay.
At 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't. And my eyes will just close.
Okay.
Yes, but unfortunately, at times because of what I am going through, I get is it insomnia? Yeah, sleep. Okay. So I sleep like 2 hours, deep sleep, and then I wake up. Okay. I wake up at 1. And I'm like, God, it's just 1. Okay. It's just 1. What am I going to do? Okay. Yeah, so I listen to someone. Ifike 3. Okay. So I pray. Okay. I pray up to 4:30. Okay. Bado ninaangalia saa. Bado aishi. Haya nasikiza nyimbo. I am a fan of Sarah K. Okay. So I listen to that. And then now I wake up to prepare to go to work. As we close, I noticed you're a singing person. Do you sing? I wouldn't really say I am a singer. I am also surprised. Okay. I am also very surprised, by the way, that I can sing. Okay. I didn't know I could sing. I had never dreamt in my life that I could sing, but I love good music. Okay. I really do love good music and worship. Okay. Loud or just low tones? Okay. It depends on how I am feeling. Okay. When I am a bit disrupted, I will come and just put louder. Okay. Just to try escape. Okay. But on a good day, just cool. Okay. Yes, I like listening to worship songs. That is done well. That is done well. That is why I'm very passionate about it. And I thank God that I can sing. Naweza kuwa na side hustle ya kusing, which I hadn't noted. I hadn't sikuwahi fikiria that I could sing. You would sing a song and then I wouldn't remember it completely. Okay. I wouldn't. Okay. Even the tune I wouldn't remember. I wouldn't. Okay. But now I am. Okay. I am also surprised at myself. I don't even know how I got myself the boldness. Sijui ilitoka wapi. Okay. No, I don't know. I had a thought that my line is preaching. Okay. Which is what I have done for quite some time. But now I also you love the woman you're becoming. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, dear viewers, we're very glad that you could spare some time with us and listen to this interesting story of our Madam Leah here, who went through a lot, overcame the entire situation, and she is strong, she is happy, she is okay, she's doing well. So whatever you're going through out there, just be strong, seek God's face, ask him the questions, let him lead you, and I'm very sure that you will be successful. Otherwise, we are very glad for having you. Kindly subscribe, comment, like, share,
This was stories of my life with Madam Lea. Madam Lea, asante sana. God bless you. May God keep you. Na sijui kwa mambo ya mwisho ambayo ungetuambia.
I am very happy.
Okay.
I am honored.
Okay.
And I really thank God for this, what you're doing.
Okay.
May God bless you so much.
God bless you too.
I am happy. I've also been able to talk. Talking is also a therapy.
Yeah, true.
So I am very happy that you are thoughtful of me.
Okay.
And may God bless you.
God bless you too, madam.
Good.
Okay.
Amen. Thank you.
Asante sana. Thank you so much.